Hi, I believe I'm live. This is my first YouTube live ever, so bear with me. My name is April Kelly, and I'm a tarot advisor, and I'm doing a series of videos over the next few weeks to explore tarot. There's a lot of tarot readers out there, and I realized through the last 2 years of doing tarot readings that there's really a misconception, or people just don't understand what tarot is. So I'm live today. Today, the subject is, as I put on the thumbnail that I attached to the video, what can a tarot reading do for you? So before I jump in, I want to thank you, those of you that are joining me live, and those that will be listening afterwards for coming in and checking out my video. If you would feel led to subscribe and hit that notification button, um, yeah, I would absolutely love to have you all here with me as I do my lives. Now, for the next few weeks, it'll be on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm not exactly sure. I know that, yeah, it times will vary, but you're more than welcome to join me at that time. So, um, I give presented myself in my other live on Instagram, but I'm going to do it a little bit here, just so you guys get an idea of who I am. I am first off a beautiful, divine, feminine woman goddess. It has taken me quite a while to be able to love me the way I do, and I'm so very proud of that. And it's one of the things that led me to tarot and be able to step into a role that really speaks to me. I have been a youth outreach worker and simultaneously intervention worker. I have been also a uh, life coach slash health coach, but more life coach. And I've worked with families for over 15 years. So when I found tarot, it was on a spiritual journey, just discovering things. And yeah, so I'm very humbled to have. Also very courageous. It took a lot of courage at first. It's been 2 years now, so I'm a lot more comfortable with it. But at first, it took a lot of courage to step into something that was so unknown, and people are like, "Oh, what's this?" And you know, there's a lot of judgment as well around tarot, and I understand. I do when you don't know what it is, and like what is this spiritual heebie-jeebie, taboo thing. So I'm here to kind of take away that fear or the unknown as well around tarot. So, with no further ado, I'm going to jump in. What can a tarot reading do for you? So, first off, tarot is not a gumball machine. It's just not. What do I mean by that? It means that it's not you get there, you come to the reading with whoever the tarot advisor is, and you get the answers that you're looking for. It's not going to happen. That's not how it works. Um, Generally speaking, okay, and it's a lot of pressure for the tarot advisor, right? For the tarot reader. So maybe how about let's take a different approach to that, okay? Um, Maybe okay, when you come to a tarot reading, be prepared to receive answers that you need to hear and not necessarily that you want to hear. And what I mean by that is sometimes we are absolutely convinced that this is the answer we need and that we want, and we're looking for that person that will say yes, do that, and sometimes it's right. Sometimes you're meant to hear that and you will get that confirmation. But trusting in your tarot advisor and trusting that your people from the spirit world, your spirit guides, and you yourself will show up. If you're, already going to be paying for a tarot reading, you already have a sense of, I need some direction, I need some clarity, right? So, um, the next point is a little bit more interesting, gets a little bit more deep. Be ready to explore challenging questions and emotions. So, meaning that sometimes We're so focused in, zeroed in, so close that we don't see that big picture, and we need to take a step back. And one of the roles that a tarot advisor has is to ask simple but powerful questions, a little bit like a life coach. It's one of the reasons why I connected with tarot so powerfully, because to me, it's the ultimate coaching tool. So yeah, and there will be a little bit of uncomfortableness, sometimes a lot uncomfortableness. There might be some fear coming up inside of you, but there will also be aha moments. And oh wow, that was for me. That was powerful, and it lands really, and it feels right, right? So those are the kind of moments you can expect during a tarot reading. Um, my next point is uh, tarot isn't about finding your path, like what your path is or what path you need to be on. It's not about where your path leads per se. It's not about finding what your fate is. Okay, basically. But what it is about finding all the possible forks in the road right in front of you at this moment. So powerfully in the moment, right now. Now, some tarot advisors do that. This is what I do, okay? I help you find the clarity, and you'll know it inside of yourself right here. You'll feel when it's right. You'll feel when you'll have that moment of clarity during your tarot reading at some point, and you'll be like, it's almost like you'll have a peaceful feeling, and it'll kind of just feel so very powerful. So, and this is coming from clients that have shared this with me, and I've had these kind of experiences in tarot readings myself. Um, it's also about finding the possible forks in the road, right? Um, like I mentioned, so from the wide open road that's easy to see and that you can like navigate, and it's right there and it's super clear, right? But also those winding trails in the woods that are a little bit harder to follow and that are not as comfortable and not as clear. So it's why I say be ready when you come to a tarot reading for those harder questions and for the harder emotions. And one of the things that I, as a tarot advisor, if you notice, my channel is called Darkness and Light Tarot, right? And so we all have our darkness and our light inside of us, which is perfectly normal. It's part of being human, right? We're going to have our vulnerable, fearful side, and then we're going to have that strong, beautiful, whether it be feminine or masculine part of us, right? And so one coexists with the other. There's ideally we have a balance or at least an alignment, right, with the two parts of us. And when you come to a tarot reading, often both will be touched upon. You know, beautiful things in you, and the promises, and not promises, but like potential that you would, of the life, right? The potential life you can live, full of light, full of love, but you have to choose it. It's a choice. And then you'll have those darker, more vulnerable, um, more scary parts, right? We're all familiar with our weaker sides, and I don't even like using the word weak with our um, vulnerable side, right? We're used to dealing with it. It's not, doesn't feel good, but we're just used to it. And often we're not as used to our light. So sometimes it's a little scary, and you're like, oh, do I really want that? And you'll have that sometimes come up in the reading, which I think is beautiful. It's delicious, and it's a little messy, but life is messy. You'll have steady things in your life because you follow your own routines and all that kind of good stuff, right? But life is just, it's messy. Emotions are messy. There's no such thing as perfect. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about tarot is it brings out the fact that that's okay. It can be a really beautiful, safe thing. if you allow. Now, all of this is connected to, and I really looked forward to bringing this up, all of this is connected to self love. Do you love yourself? And often the tarot reading will reflect that to you, to focus in on self love. What does that mean? It means that even, in your perfect imperfection, okay, I like calling it like that, the perfect imperfections of what makes us who we are. We're going to make mistakes, but without mistakes, we don't learn. So we would be perfect. So we wouldn't need to learn. And so we wouldn't be making mistakes, right? So allowing life to be messy and allowing yourself the wiggle room to figure it out. Often we're like, we're so good at that inner voice. We're so good at being really hard. Oh, that was so stupid. Why did I do that? But allowing ourselves and loving that vulnerable, fearful side of ourselves is so very essential and so very important. And it can be one of the hardest things to do because, it's not like we learned that in school or at work or anything like that. Now, if you have a parent that, is a social worker or a therapist or a psychologist or an intervention worker or something like that, often you'll have a little bit more insight. My boys always tell me that, we've got you, Mom. But yes, I'm a mom of 5 beautiful, gorgeous boys. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. I love my boys so much. They're so good. So when you have someone helping you and shouldering you into understanding how to navigate how do I love myself? How do I accept all those scary parts and uncomfortable parts? Because the parts that are really good and your strengths are easier to embrace. So sorry, I'm jumping into my coach energy, but it really does tie into tarot readings. And I hope that this has brought you value and that you've appreciated all of this that I've felt led to share with you today. It's been a pleasure being here on this live. I have been looking forward to this live so much. I slept so because it's my first YouTube live ever. I will have 2 other lives this week. I invite you all to join in and keep exploring tarot with me. And if ever you guys have questions, type them in the comments below in the comment section, and I will endeavor to answer those questions. All right. Thank you so much for joining in. And for those that were live, thank you for being here. For those that were not, enjoy. It's a pleasure. Thanks, you guys. This is April Kelly. I'm a tarot advisor. Thank you for joining my tarot discovery journey.